All right, folks, we're here at the beautiful Miami Springs, the new Miami Springs Senior Center, and I'm here with the candidate for Miami Springs City Council, Group 4, Mr. Tom Hutchings. Tom, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time and being gracious and sharing your thoughts with the Miami Springs residents. So, your last name is very well known in the community. It's been around. You got different personalities that name is well known. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you lived here in Miami Springs?
I was born and raised here most of my life. I did move away for a short time. I've been back for a while. But I grew up in the bird section with my brother and my sister.
Yeah.
My mother was a real estate agent on Westwood Drive. She had her own real estate company, and she was on city council for 2 terms. And my father was a retired Eastern Airlines captain.
Okay. And your mom's name is?
Joan.
Joan Hutchings.
Joan Hutchings.
So some of us who maybe had less hair like myself will remember your mom's signs and her realty company. So you grew up and lived here in Miami Springs. You're still here. Why? You could have chosen to move elsewhere at any point in your life. Why? What do you love about Miami Springs that makes you stay here?
This is where I grew up. That's basically it. It's still basically the same.
Yeah.
It's quiet. It's safe. It's still beautiful. Except for a couple things, but.
And so, for folks who don't know, what is it that you tell us about? Well, before we get into your career, tell us a little bit about what you love most about growing up in Miami Springs.
As kids, we can go out and play and not have to worry about anything. And as long as we were home by the time the streetlights came on, we weren't in trouble. We could ride our bikes anywhere. We could walk everywhere, way before cell phones.
Yeah.
Well, you had to ride to somebody's house to talk to them. And I played tennis all the time. I swam on the swim team. I was on a track team.
Were you on the swim team with the high school?
No. The city used to have their own swim team.
Okay, so you were the city swim team. Got it. And what high school did you go to?
I'm going to say I went to Christopher Columbus for 2 years.
Okay.
And graduated from St. Brennan.
Got it. All right. And then, so you graduate there. Then career starts to happen. What have you done for a living, and what are you doing today?
I drove a truck for a few years, and then I joined the operating engineers union.
Okay.
So I started as a heavy equipment mechanic and became an operator, and from there I retired from operating cranes.
Okay.
Actually here in Miami.
Got it. And today you are the proud owner of?
A little bit of Philly.
A little bit of Philly. All right, so we got to do the shameless plug here for a second. So tell us a little bit about a little bit of Philly.
Best cheesesteaks in Miami. Best cheesesteaks on the planet, we think. And a lot of people tell us that, but we're known for our cheesesteaks, our pizza, and just our different meals. And my partner's a little risque sometimes, but a lot of people enjoy talking to him.
True story. So I had a colleague of mine, and he didn't realize that I lived here in Miami Springs, and he's telling me, man, I gotta take you to this place. They have the best Philly cheesesteaks in town. I go, really? Yeah, it's a really great place. Real genuine Philly cheesesteaks. I said, all right, I'll go with you. Where we're going to go? You want to drive on? Oh, yeah, it's in Virginia Gardens. I go, wait, you're talking about a little bit of Philly. Yeah, that's from my house. Come on, I'll take you.
We had a lot of people come in from Philly. They can't find a good cheesesteak in Philly and like ours better.
Wow.
That says a lot about it.
Right, and you started making me hungry. I should have eaten something before doing this interview. So you're operating a little bit of Philly.
Yes.
And just tell folks, where's it located?
3940 Curtis Parkway, right in Virginia Gardens, just down from the hardware store.
Got it.
And right next door to Vito's Bakery.
Perfect. All right, guys, so if you want a Philly cheesesteak, in the mood for something, you know where to go. Okay, so now, you're doing that, and then you've lived here most of your life. I know your mom was a councilwoman, but you haven't been in politics at all. What kind of drove you to jump into politics?
With my knowledge, business knowledge, and experience, I should be able to help straighten some things out around here.
Okay.
And stop a few things, just because I love this town.
Yeah.
And that was my opportunity. I'm retired now. I'm almost 60.
Right.
And give me something to do.
Sure. Well, it sounds like you're busy at the restaurant as well, but we appreciate your love for Miami Springs, and that's a common thing people. I find very few communities that match up where people are as proud and love their city as much as people love Miami Springs.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah, and once they move in, then they don't want to move out.
That's right.
So, all right, so you're running for Miami City Council, and let's be clear, what seat are you running for?
Seat 4.
So seat 4, right? So my group 4, and currently, weird situation because Vasquez, who was seat 4, ran for commissioner, and had to resign to run.
Yes.
So then George Loeb is currently holding that seat.
Right.
He's not running for.
He was a write-in. He's not running again.
Yeah, he's not running again. So. So Vasquez is now running again for that position.
Yes.
And you decided to select his position.
Yes, because I'm not going to use it as a political stepping stone to improve myself to go run for another county office or anything. I'm here for Miami Springs. I'm here for the future.
Right.
And I'm not going anywhere.
Got it. Now, now that you're running, you're talking to residents. You're probably going door to door and knocking on people's doors, and I'm sure people, when they stop at the restaurant, give you their opinion.
Oh, yeah. I had several people stop today, want to talk to me. They call me on the phone at the restaurant.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
What are you seeing are the biggest issues residents are telling you for this election?
The parking, of course.
Parking?
That's
Okay.
the number one problem.
Okay.
And when it comes to the parking, I want to say Western Drive. I don't want to tear up, make it one lane each direction for the first 2 blocks. To me, that's going to create more traffic for the circle, more backups on the circle, especially in the afternoons and the mornings. You know, they had their chances, but I want to be careful what I say here.
Sure, of course.
I think our best aspect now is just to build a parking garage.
Right.
And keep our green space the way it is. Stay off of Curtis Parkway.
Yep.
Because they're talking about doing pavers on Curtis Parkway. It's like,
Yeah, people don't, they got to keep that green.
Yeah.
And once it's one of those things that we're trying to protect and make sure that people don't start encroaching on those green areas.
Right.
So parking, what other issues I'm sure people tell you, they're eating there, they tell you all sorts of things.
Police safety.
Police, okay.
We are so distracted with a 36-week quarter. I left city council meeting, a month ago. It was a late meeting.
Yeah.
And there's 6 police officers on duty, and all 6 got a call, had to go over there, which left the rest of Miami Springs unattended.
Yeah.
Now, that's not intentional, I understand it, but what I want to do is see if somehow we get more funding for them, so they can have maybe a special force just for the 36-week quarter, and the police can go back to patrol the neighborhoods like they should be doing.
Yeah, I heard a stat the other day that 40% of the calls are going to the hotels, which is
It's pathetic.
crazy. What other? Well, hold on. As a part of the new council, if you get elected as a new council,
When I get elected.
or when you get elected for this new council, there are certain things coming up. One of them is a new city manager. So the current council is starting the process of selecting a new city manager, but it looks like the final selection will be made by the next city council. So from your perspective, what do you think are some of the top things that you want to look for in a new city manager?
The salary has to fit within our budget,
Right.
and it's kind of mostly a thankless job. I was doing Bill Long has gone through and everything else, but they got to be qualified almost like a CEO.
Yep.
Be very good with accounting. It's going to take time to find the right person. That's something that we don't want to rush into at all. We need the qualified person.
Right.
Preferably, if they live in the Springs, that'd be great, because they would understand more about what goes on here.
Yeah.
But if not, then we have to pick and choose.
All right. Any other key factors that you want to see from a city manager? I think, or something that you don't want to see in the next city manager?
Somebody's going to stick around for a while.
Okay.
And that's the biggest thing. I'd like to see tenure.
Tenure. Perfect. As far as Miami Springs, what kind of improvements do you want to see completed here in Miami Springs?
Some of the beautification issues are, we have a lot of diseased trees that are getting cut down, and a lot of neighbors are cutting their trees down and not replanting trees.
Right.
And I want that to stop. We need to improve our tree canopy.
Yeah.
And just we're going to have to work with the people so they understand more, because a newcomer moves in and everybody's pouring out all these concrete driveways. Well, I forget what the percentage is for our green space, and it's really out of hand as far as I'm concerned. And that's something with the building and zoning.
Right.
That's an issue with them. But the tree canopy.
You referenced beautification of the city.
Oh,
Are there other areas? Go ahead.
And the only real complaint I have is the city does a very good job of picking up trash and garbage and all that stuff.
Right.
but their grappler trucks are making such craters,
Yeah.
and they don't fill them in near often enough. I mean, you can drive your car one, and won't find you for a week. Some of them.
Yeah,
There's one in Westwood like that.
I know my alley has a nice crater in the back from the pickup, so I know exactly what you mean. But there has been, and I'll share the same thing, that there is that call to beautify the community and make it prettier, and trees are always on the top of the list. So I'm sure residents are going to appreciate that. As far as annexation, so annexation's been, we were really close.
We get
this past
closer
year.
each time. Each time we get a little bit more.
Really close. You know, there have been different points where I thought, oh, we're going to do it, and I thought for sure it was going to happen this last summer, and of course here we are.
Yeah.
We've got a new commissioner. We don't have annexation. So my question to you is, do you think annexation will happen?
I think eventually will. They just need to iron out the rough spots of it, and
Okay.
we really need it for our tax base here.
Yeah.
We really do, and that's going to help even with funding for the cops and what we need to do here in the Springs.
Right. Now, some will argue that the city needs to do a better job in terms of sharing the benefits to the area that's going to be annexed, and whether it's communicating them directly, whether it's going door to door over there,
Right.
but basically telling them, look, guys, we know your taxes are going to go up if you get annexed, but look, here are the reasons why you should be annexed by Miami Springs. Some believe that if Miami Springs doesn't annex them, then Doral going to annex them, or Medley, or somebody else is going to annex them.
If we annex somebody, taxes aren't necessarily going to go up. We're going to do it so we get the commercial tax,
Right.
which would actually drop our millage down.
Yeah, it'll drop our millage.
Theoretically,
For them, it'll raise them.
it'll raise theirs.
It'll raise theirs, and so I can understand them going, well, I want to pay more, right? And so, the argument has been that area, we need to treat that area like if they're residents,
Right.
and start, communicating with them and sharing, like, guys, look, yes, your tax is going to go up, not as high as you thought. It's going to be a lesser amount, but here are XYZ benefits to you,
Right.
to help them, with
Help
annexation.
them understand it.
Yeah. As far as other issues, we've had the crime on 36th Street. We've had, you mentioned parking. You talked about creating a parking garage. And then there was also, we talked a little bit about annexation. What are any other issues that are near and dear to you here from Miami Springs?
The bed tax issue from Dade County, that would help us tremendously.
Yeah.
And that would help fund the police and possibly lower our millage.
Right.
But the county doesn't want to share it, and it's in our jurisdiction. And we tried to go after them and after them and after them, and we can't get away with it. And I don't understand why. I mean, what's fair is fair.
Right.
What's right is right. And since our police spend more than 40% of their time over there protecting these hotels and protecting us,
Yeah.
and we should be paid for it. We should at least be reimbursed for the salaries, something to offset it.
Yeah. I think the residents couldn't agree more. I know it's.
I heard today that a lady come to the shop,
Yeah.
and she says that she had heard that there's a developer that wants to buy a golf course to make it a housing development. I said, I don't think that's ever going to happen. It took us a lot to buy that golf course back, and it's the only one around. Mel Reese closes on the 16th,
Yeah.
and we're closing April 1st. They should have done the returfing last year. So, like a biz, like a planning.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be shut down for, what, 6 months, I think?
I think about 6 months is going to be
6
shut.
months,
Yeah. So we'll see. We should once that opens up, it should benefit. But unfortunately, shutting down while the other one shut down, those people start making habits elsewhere.
Yes.
And then it's
Yes.
hard to pull them over here
It's
afterwards.
going to be hard to get them back.
So the timing there wasn't necessarily ideal.
But we can do it with pricing and costs and everything else.
Yeah. 100%.
Another big thing is the safety of the pedestrians and the golf carts on Curtis Parkway and Western Drive.
Right.
For all the speeders and everything else. And I would like to see, not speed bumps, but speed humps.
Yeah.
On like a raised platform for the pedestrians to cross, to slow the cars down.
You're talking about
Especially
like ones on
especially-
in Virginia Gardens where they put them on
Yes.
Ludlam? Yeah.
Yep.
I think the residents are will applaud that because the speeding has been something that, look, as the chief says, 40% of the time they're out over
Exactly.
dealing with the hotel crime or hotel issues. How can they possibly be spending as much time as they used to? As we said, we don't see them anymore, and it's true. I mean, as someone who grew up here like yourself, I don't see them like we used to.
We have to learn how to facilitate more officers. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no way ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have to.
Totally agree.
Just to slow everybody down and work with the county for better signage at the pedestrian crossings, whether it be the flashing lights like they have on some of them.
Right.
But like, again, especially in front of the country club, because I always stop for the golfers trying to cross.
Right.
They're always in the crosswalk.
Yeah.
And then there's always a car coming next to me. He's
Just
goes right past
oblivious.
me.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And somebody's gonna get hurt, if not killed.
All right. As far as voting, so the election's right around the corner. It's amazing. You blink and it's here. This could be in April. So when does or when can people start voting for you?
Early voting starts at City Hall on the 31st, I believe.
Yeah. I think it's that's Friday the 31st.
Yeah, and then April 1st,
Uh-huh.
and it moves to the country club for the 4th.
Perfect.
From 7 to 4, I'll be there.
So why as people are going to head out and to vote, I always like to ask this kind of final question in terms of why should they vote for Tom Hutchings?
Because I believe in the city, and I'm going to work to keep improving the city for the future. Because I see a lot of young kids around nowadays, and we need to keep the park and recreations going.
Yeah.
And just make it a safer town for everybody.
Perfect. Tom, if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
You can always stop by the shop and talk to me, or you can call me at the shop, or
Right.
you can use my email, which is thutchings19@gmail.com.
So thutchings19@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Or they can stop by a little bit of Philly.
Yep.
It's okay to do a shameless plug.
Stop by a little bit of Philly, grab a sandwich, and we'll talk.
Perfect. All right, so there you have it. Tom Hutchings, again, he's running for Miami Springs City Council, Group 4. Election's coming up the election day is on April 4th. You can do early voting, you can do vote by mail. But more importantly than anything, folks, get out and vote.
Yes, please.
Your community, we're only as good as the residents who hold the politicians accountable and go out and vote. Get to learn who the politicians are, watch the videos, read about them online, and go out and vote. Tom, we appreciate you participating.
Thank you, yes, appreciate it.
Thank you. Putting your name out there and running for office is not an easy thing to do. And
Stop by, I'll give you a button.
but it's not an easy thing to do, and so we appreciate those who take the time to commit to our beautiful city and make an effort to run and as best as possible put their vision to reality. So thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you, Nestor.
Thank you.